How many people do not do posture checks? You have to do it. Anyways, 3, 2, 1. We clapped. Sorry, fellas. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. It is the Biendeo stream today on this fine 2nd of February 2026. I hope you're having a wonderful week, and we'll have a wonderful week ahead of you as well. I've added a word ahead into that sentence. I usually don't. I'm going to be hopping into Pokémon Colosseum today. I don't know. We're going to be chatting about whatever hardware releases we can get these days, as well as also, I guess, I don't know, there's a weird amount of collapsitarian news around AI, so maybe that'll be interesting. So let's hop right into the game. Whoop. There we go. Look at that, smooth as. But yeah, if you missed it last week, was my first week playing Pokémon Colosseum. I've played it before, but as in, we're specifically controlling, not controlling, but like specifically, it's the start of the game. So I've caught a few Pokemon. I think I asked myself, what is the total number of Pokemon we're aiming for in this game? Like, how many are there in the end? I think the answer is either in the high 30s or low 40s. So I remember that one. But I got 9 of them in the first stream, so that's pretty okay. But we've pretty much gotten all the way until we got to this Pyrite Colosseum, and in particular, we fought everyone leading up to here, and they're like, you know, why don't you engage in the big Colosseum fight? And I knew this would be a few battles, and it's like, oh, okay, it's a bit, so we might as well have a chat. The power has been turned back on. Would you like to join a knockout challenge? Or we're just sort of going with the Pokemon I have because I got nothing better to do. But the goal is that we need to just beat 4 trainers in order to continue on with the game. And I feel like this is a fun filter for people who aren't as accustomed to Pokemon. It's not going to be easy to get a winning streak going. Hawks. Yeah, that's a name and a half. I apologize for the lockjaw there. Anyways, Barboach and Sandshrew, this doesn't seem too bad. But I've got my bread and butter strat coming out right here. We're basically rocking Umbreon and Espeon for as long as they eternally stay relevant. I think it's pretty much because you can't evolve Pokemon yet, so let's go on with the old helping hand. But I don't imagine these two to be particularly strong or really meaningful in any way. For the most part, I don't know, man. You've really only got to watch out for fighting and psychic type attacks. I mean, that's really you know, what you got to watch out for. Oh, and the poison, I guess. Hey, get poisoned. Get poisoned, fool. I guess. But yeah, no. How is everyone doing today? It's a fairly alright day. It's the end of January into the beginning of February, and immediately in Sydney we actually have had a cooler day of weather. Some fun rain and bit of a cold front. Things that I know talking about weather seems so dull, but you know what I mean. It's like I've been longing for some cooler days. It might be absurdly cold if you're in the United States. I know they're having a lot of fun ones right now up there. Very, very bizarrely cold up there. But you know, also we've been rocking some very, very hot days just recently. So. But yeah, no, back into the swing of, well, not back into, it's still the continuation of the swing of things, but I feel a bit of sense of, you know, I always talk about the pride and accomplishment of, like, you know, what have I beaten, what have I accomplished this past week? So it's been generally a bit of work finishing up. You got a long, long way to go. Well, it's only 4 battles, so it's not that long, I guess. Battle 2! I think your Pokemon heal between fights, so you don't have to absolutely wing it. And if you don't, well, we'll see in like 10 seconds. You're planning to win it all? You know that's impossible, Tisla. I love the sprites of the people in the the ramparts there. You just always feel like something big's happening once you're hearing different battle music, you know? Battle music's such a jam, though. It's great. I love it. But since we got a Natsu going on, I guess Bite would actually be great, and Meditite. Meditite's probably just stick it with Return. With the power of love. Apparently walking's for chumps. Yeah, this doesn't seem like it's too bad, at least at the moment. I know it ramps up a little bit, but hey, you know, I've got a full party of Pokemon on the side. Also, I guess the answer is very yes, because otherwise Umbreon would be 1 poisoned and 2 lower on power, so... I don't know, I've completely forgotten the type chart off my head, but I'm pretty sure you're not meant to use Dark against Psychic, so I'd be caught out if I use Bite on him, even though he is fighting type, so he would be weak to that. But yeah, so my sense of pride and accomplishment has been continuing on a little bit more of the Guitar Hero work for the retro achievement stuff. I guess it's only a handful, you know, half dozen weeks away until that's all out. And I've still got to at least deploy out 2 more sets, but I've written up my achievement titles for the DLC set, so that's all good. Hopefully it's wowing people by how many achievements there are. I also took a little bit of a curiosity venture. Score an awesome Pokemon. Do you get an awesome Pokemon for this? The music is continuing to jam. I love Cacnea, he's awesome. He's a cool 3rd gen. A lot of people sleep on him, but he's up there for me. Well, we might as well just do the double up on Electrike, and Electrike's going to be using Quick Attack and all that stuff to go fast, so we'll just knock him out there. But yeah, no, I took the curiosity venture of figuring out the DLC in Rock Band 2. 2 and 3, I guess. So even though that there's only 2 Rock Bands, because in the year that Guitar Hero 5 and then Band Hero coming out a month later happened, they just released Lego Rock Band, and I think also the Beatles Rock Band. And the Beatles Rock Band does have its own DLC. Lego Rock Band is just reskinned Rock Band 2, so it can play the Rock Band 2 stuff as long as it's marked as family friendly. If the song is family friendly, it shows up. Otherwise, it's just the same engine. I want to say Vulpix will probably ruin my day a bit more, so I'm actually going to continue beating up Vulpix. Apparently, another Quick Attack is in order. But yeah, Beatles Rock Band is entirely self-contained, so you don't have to really worry about that. But you do have to worry about Rock Band 2, which on the Wii, I mean, if you're considering DLC, that is. But Rock Band 2 on the Wii not only involved 2 years of DLC efforts, and they were absolutely pumping them out. There was a brief stint as well when they introduced something called the Rock Band Network, which basically was a pipeline to allow people, particularly people who own rights to their own songs, to sort of funnel through the process and just get their charts out. Or, you know, they can do their charts themselves and they can get their own, you know, their own music. Just there you go, that's the sale. On the Wii, it was not as automatic a process, so effectively Harmonix was looking at the charts and basically relicensing them to sell them on the Wii. So they didn't really get that many songs, but they got about 150 something out of a total of like 2,000 songs across the entirety of all the Rock Band Network's existence. They had 2 versions, and they only ever had the first version available on the Wii. And by available on the Wii, I mean just songs were ported to the Wii, so that was it. So it's not a crazy amount of songs, but 150 is still a bunch. That being said, I think I still counted like 1,050 Actually 1,150. So in total, there's about 1,300 DLC songs in Rock Band 2. Also, just to bonus points, Rock Band 1 on the Wii doesn't have DLC, and there's a little bit of carryover. Some of the DLC that was available in Rock Band 2 effectively was just a re-release of bonus songs in the Wii or the European versions of Rock Band 1. But it's not that many songs. It's like, oh, there's a lot to handle. Rock Band 3 on its own has like 600 songs. I feel like... Also, Bagon might wreck my day. Maybe. He might wreck my day. I'm just thinking about the type chart going, like, what is... Because it's just Ice and Dragon, isn't it? So, I mean, you're safe with a Dark Attack. I might as well just use Dark Attack, but... I gotta get rid of this Bagon. He's probably gonna mess me up. Is it Bagon or Bagon? I always said... confusion, apparently great. Maybe it's because he's just not got that many stats. He is like a baby. Does that mean I'm going to be using Bite on a Magnemite right now? It is. But it's not like I really have anything that I can use against him, because I don't have a fighting attack, I don't have a fire attack, and I don't really have water or electric, so... I am really just going to have to damage out the Magnemite. I could use Confuse Ray. People will probably get bored that I keep using the same attacks again and again, so... let's go with a, defensive turn. Set some stuff up. But yeah, I feel a little bit of relief that they have compliance to sort of indicate, like, don't worry about, like, making an absolutely massive set. For the Warriors of Rock DLC. Just do its games DLC and we'll figure everything out later. So I'm only doing 77 DLC songs. But in theory, there would be like 600 and something if you were doing all the import songs and at least another 311, 320 or something. If you're doing at least the DLC songs from the previous games. Yeah, we kept it down a bit, but whoever does Rock Band 3, it's like you have to do 600. And on top of that, Rock Band 3 not only has keyboards as an extra instrument to mix things up, depending on how you want to track whether a player has beaten songs or not on certain instruments. It's like, there's that. And then it's also got the pro instruments, none of which are emulatable in any way. Swift... I mean, I like Swift, but, like, Return arguably is just a better attack. Yes, Swift never misses, whereas Return is susceptible to Sand Attack and other things, but Return will sometimes do 102 power. Actually, will probably tend towards that, so I don't really think I need Swift. Plus, we also don't have the physical special split, so don't have to think about that here. Delibird is awesome. I do like my Delibird. I don't really have anything that's super effective against him, but that's okay. We will just continue using the Bite attack. Actually ruin Delibird's day as well, while we're at it. I got a present for... He doesn't have a present, so... But yeah, yeah, it's just been interesting looking at that. I don't really have any intentions of... Well, one, I have no intentions of picking up a Rock Band set anytime soon. But I did play through Rock Band 1, and I did really, really enjoy the game. I went back, I did some full combos, and I'm actually very surprised at how many I could actually nail. I generally say Rock Band 1 is an easier game than many of the other plastic rhythm games. But that doesn't mean it's not as fun. I really had a great time. I think the soundtrack choices... really incredible, because if there's one thing, it really captures the joy of performing music, and I think coupled with the presentation and particularly the animations of the band members, it shows that they're having a great time. You're some kind of strong, good things could be in store for you. Okay. And that's it, by the way. That's my four Colosseum battles. You're the champion. You battled fabulously. Have some money. And also have TM06. What is that? Thief? Have I been ripped off because I just got Thief? It's Toxic, okay. Toxic is a very good move to have this early. What? Okay, sure. So we can just save it there. And that's it. That's the stream. See you guys next time. We keep it going. We keep on going. But that is... I mean, like, that's... you know, that's the Colosseum battle. So, I mean, it's good that we got through that. We did it. I choked right before my battle. I suddenly got a bellyache. I couldn't go out there. The next time I enter, I'd better ask Pyrote's mother if my stomach will behave while I'm battling. Okay. Hi there. You must be the superb trainer who has emerged triumphant in our latest battle challenge. Mirror B, the town's true mover and shaker, wishes you to have a gorgeous gift. Now follow me. Okay. To this dingy old warehouse over here with an automatic door. How cool is that? Why is this dossier so shiny? Right, I'm back with our latest challenge champion. Let's present our lucky winner with a shadow Pokemon and watch chaos unleash. F you.
Oh, nice one. Our new champ is quite the appealing charmer. It makes a nice change from the parade of macho muscle men. Wait, this isn't happening. This guy, he's that Biendeo guy from that Mirror Bead been carrying on about.
Mirror Bead. Ooh, what? That same guy who messed with us in Phoenix City? Yeah, I didn't know that when I let him in here. I'll boot you back out. Nora's a very, very funny surname. He's got Yanma. He's got Yanma. You gotta watch out. But yeah, so hopefully the writing team reviews what I've got. They like it or whatever. We'll see, and then just pump out the rest. So we need to catch this Yanma sooner than later, I guess. Let's hit him with a bite, and then let's get a reflect out so I'm not taking as much damage. I'm starting to get into the habit of using reflect a bit. Looks coming at you at supersonic speed. See, unfortunately, it doesn't have confuse ray. Oh, jeez, this has got a bit of health. Yan is okay, but he doesn't evolve. Remember, it's a 4th gen evolution, Yan Mega. Well, we might as well help out with that and just see if we can drive down his health bar a bit more before I start throwing balls. Oh, now it's gonna get kind of awkward, isn't it? Oh, jeez. But yeah. Oh, jeez, it's very awkward. It's very, very awkward. I clearly see Pineco using Bide, so Bide, just as long as you're not worrying about it, Bide can't hurt you. Because it's based on the amount of damage that was dealt to you. So if you're not hitting him, then no, it's fine. If anything, it's probably worse to have in a double battle. It's actually probably a move you want to get rid of. Supersonic's got a 55% accuracy, so, I mean, it's more likely that he hits 2 out of 3 than not. But I forget the chance of hitting yourself, but I thought it was either 30 or 50%. Yeah, see, he's a failure. He is a failure. Yeah, I am not having a fun time with hitting this Yanma, apparently. Sonic Boom's also going to be a bit of an annoying attack. It does a flat 20 damage. It's probably not that bad at the level 30 rank, but there you go. Finally a hit. Except I'm hitting Pineco here, but does he have sturdy or no? It's just, oh my gosh, we are never hitting the Yanma apparently. He's coming at me. I don't think Pineco's particularly strong, and his evolution is more of a defensive type, so... please hit Yanma hit. You can't use Supersonic, man. We're already confused. I could probably call when it snaps the confusion, but... about principle, man. It's about principle. I feel like that's a good amount of health to be taking off. Rapid Spin is a fun one if you play competitive, because it gets rid of effects like spikes, but how many people use spikes? Not many. And also it gets rid of reflect and things like that. What's up, Fetty? How you doing? Well, we are gonna use them Pokeballs. Distracted. Nah, it's all good. You missed the tournament. I did the whole Pokémon Colosseum tournament. And here I am, I'm catching Yanma. Yanma is coming in my bowl. There's a lot of very bad things you can say about Pokemon. That was an easy first go catch. That's a good sign for the day. Ninkido is cute. I like him, but he's probably very furry. His evolution Ninjas though, insanely cool. Didn't I use him on my team in my Pokemon Sapphire streams? I think I did. For reference, I haven't prepped a team. I actually do not know off the top of my head which Pokemon I'm really wanting to engage in. So I guess that's something we'll figure out very soon. This confusion lasts forever, and especially when I use confusion. Maybe it will never disappear. There he goes. To the wayside, leaving just Ninjaskin's fun stick bug animation right there. Ninjas is the stick bug. Look at him go! He's doing it. Get stick bugged. Yes, that is indeed Umbreon. You've got that right. You've got that right. So we've got 2 pieces of hardware releases in this week. We'll start off with a slightly more boring, but maybe more directly relevant one for the avid PC gamer, and that is the AMD 9850X 3D processor, the Ryzen processor. As the name implies, there is a 5 instead of a 0 for the 9800X 3D, which is mostly indicating it's just the refresh. Also, yeah, I beat the tournament. What did you expect was going to happen? It's useless. I don't stand a chance of winning.
Now hold on, you're the one who brought him here.
And then they run. And then they run. Oh, you're I forgot this accent, by the way. Oh, you're safe. I heard you entered this building. It had me worried.
Joking, this is where they were giving Shadow Pokemon to the winners of battle challenges.
Shadow Pokemon? Those ferocious Pokemon that even attack people?
Yes, they're giving away Shadow Pokemon to thugs for some reason. It doesn't look good.
You tell me only thugs win the tournament? They were using the Colosseum to do that?
Big Lady by Papa. Papa's Pokemon was taken away by Mirror B as a prisoner.
Oh my gosh. Hostage situation.
It's Papa's Plusle. I'm so worried that they might be mean to it.
It's humiliating, but with Plusle in their filthy hands, my own hands are tied.
He's not getting away with this, that rotten Mirror B. But we're here now. We'll get Plusle back for you, right?
Nah.
It's no time for joking. We have to rescue Juking's Plusle and put us on.
No, I'm good. Okay, fine. Fine. Giggle.
I know, I can always count on you being out. Juking, it's dangerous inside this building. You've got to get everyone out to safety.
Bro, freaking Juking can lift the building. Thanks for everything. I have to depend on you. I have no choice. Plus, I only have one Pokemon. Isn't that kind of weird? Be careful always. Mirror B might look like a clown, but his battling is all business. And then they run off. There we go. Eins, dreins, fine. Hyper Mode. Shadow Pokemon, perhaps because of their own overwhelming power, may behave abnormally at times. They may engage in such behavior as ignoring orders, even turning on their own trainers in battle. This I have named Hyper Mode. On the plus side, Hyper Mode raises the critical ratio of Shadow Rush. However, Hyper Mode also prevents the use of items on the Pokemon. Hyper Mode is easily dispelled. Simply call the Pokemon by name. However, this method has a major drawback. Calling the Shadow Pokemon's name causes the closed door of its heart to loosen and even open. Further research is urgently needed. Wow. So we can actually leave this place, and there's a brief thing I think we should be seeing before we fully venture into the building a bit more. Which is, I need more balls, I guess, because I've got money. But yeah, so they don't sell balls here. They sell at the outskirts stand. So we need to back up there then. Hi, yes, you're in my way. But yeah, 9850X3D. I think the launch price is $500 US. I think it's 800 Australian. I've seen, and 800 Australian is it's up there for a processor. I mean, there's obviously more expensive processors out there, but at the end of the day, it's kind of the same price as what the 9800 X3D was when it launched. So. You know, it's not really too weird. It's just a refresh. But what do you gain out of this? I think the averages are about like 4% more FPS if you're comparing it to a 9800 X3D. Definitely better, albeit it is using more power. And that's something that is noted in various reviews, is it really just like tuned a bit harder and it's not really actually a better chip? Maybe. To which I would then say, maybe you could just get it yourself? You know, like just get a 9800 X3D and just turn up the power. Oh my gosh. I've forgotten how to operate the menus. I would like more balls. Oh, but not one. I want to buy 10. Dang it. 4%. Yeah, I mean, it is a, you know, a refresh. I don't think I really expect anything that massive or, you know, that meaningful, but it is definitely like people sometimes hype releases. I might as well just like spend all my money at this point. There you go. I can't buy anything else, but that's fine. It's just there as a refresh. But I feel like people got a bit hyped for it because it's kind of the one release. Weirdly, Intel hasn't released anything in quite a while. I think it's been 15 months, which has definitely been a while. More on Panther Lake in a moment. But yeah, I saw some reviewers sort of criticizing the power efficiency on this. They were like, AMD destroys its power efficiency just to, you know, just to claw at the benchmarks. But I mean, the 9800 X3D has always been a chart topper. This is just slightly more of a chart topper. So like, there's no real need to push any more. Also, on top of that, you're competing against Intel 14th gen, not air quotes 15th or 2nd series as they released it at the end of 2024. You're looking at the stuff they released in 2023, which is just a refresh of the stuff they released in 2022, which now makes you wonder, geez, will Intel release something good? And the answer is, we'll get to that in a moment. But you know, it seems like a fine whatever processor. There's nothing too strange or odd about it. We've got 6 Pokemon, which means we technically can master this gym. So we might as well have a crack at this. Perfectly cromulent, exactly. I think Markuita and Bayleaf are actually... Oh, they're almost... Oh, Bayleaf is. Okay. So once you see that message, the door to its heart is about to open. Undo the final lock. That's how you know you're there. Which means, in theory, I don't really need Bayleaf in the party anymore. At least in the short term. I hope you heard that noise. That was a me noise, not a you noise. Unless you're on the VOD, in which case I edited that one out. Pre-gym leader Justy. Sandshrew. Clygar. Also, wow, I'm gonna get caught out by levels here. How many Pokemon did you say you had? 6? Oh boy, I'm caught out of my league on this one. You can't run from fights in this game, so try my best on this one. Maybe. This is the humiliation ritual part of the stream. Darude. Yeah, you can't... yeah. Also, did you both try to pull off a sandstorm? What? What a strange one there. I might have a decent crack at this, but it's really going to depend on, I guess, how vulnerable everyone is, I guess. Like, I was thinking, well, you know, Sandshrew should probably be copping it. Alright, we got Cacnea. Cacnea is not too strong, so at least there's that. Whoosh. We should be okay, so... yeah, not much to say about the 9850X3D. I don't think anyone's really going to address the whole AMD processors might be running incredibly over-spec situation. I still, like, I mention it because I don't know how intense it'll, you know, it's affecting everyone with X3D processors, but I do worry. This is why I don't want to hit Gligar, man. Just save him until the end if he's going to be double teaming. Sandstorm doesn't reduce your accuracy, like, then and there, does it? It just makes you take damage. But, more interestingly, on the other hand, is Intel's new Panther Lake processors. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago when they announced it at CES. And I went, this is the one thing. I know they're mobile processors. You can't put them into a new computer, desktop computer. But you will see them downstream. Oh, Zoomeral's going to be absolutely painful because I'm very certain Zoomeral is like HP wall. Isn't a Zoomeral that? Oh, I guess that's it's a bit of everything really, so. Although Zoomeral's going to keep copping it because of the sandstorm, but I actually will switch out. Hold on, let's get Gligar with the Confuse Ray because I think that will help with the whole evasiveness thing. Happy birthday, Fetty! You are now older. We should be able to send out Bayleaf and then start getting some, unless Aerial Ace is about to cop Bayleaf right here. Ah, the perfect switch out. You are old. And a sailor, apparently. Hey, no, don't use double team on both of them. I'm so glad we have to watch this camera motion twice. Okay, well, yeah, let's see if a Razor Leaf will help out here. I guess, true. Gosh, I can't hit anyone. There we go. Get him with a Razor Leaf. Yeah, Zoomeral's gonna be absolutely bulky. So, you know, that's really not that much damage. What's going on here? Gosh, I'm gonna get absolutely walled purely because of double team spam. Although, I mean, if you're spamming Sandstorm, that's gonna affect Zoomeral quite negatively as well. Like, I might be able to get there, maybe, but I do have Synthesis. But I think Bayleaf's gonna cop it. Yeah. Okay. Well, who else would be okay? Aerial Ace is going to hit Makuhita just as poorly. Misdreavus and Noctowl will both get hit by the sandstorm, so we'll just sort of wing it. I can't hit anything, bro. And there's a light screen, so I gotta make sure I'm not using special attacks now. Gosh, it was all okay. It was all okay until this Azumarill came out, and then it's like, the strategy is gone. I mean, to be fair, I do have potions that I can abuse as well. You know, I've got an okay amount of potions, but still. Jan 29 is also the 30th anniversary of the release of the shareware Duke Nukem 3D. It is! I should play that game on stream. This is a very mean attack. Oh my gosh! Is everyone a weakling on my team? And they're just very haphazard. Oh, and you got Surf. Oh. I mean, I have to admit, it has been an uphill fight, but also on the other hand, oh boy. I think I've just been a bit unlucky with the amount of double team and evasiveness kind of spam going on here. I say that knowing I've only had one Pokemon knocked out and I've already knocked out 2 of theirs, but yeah, like I really don't have a strategy against either of these other than maybe if I just get them all confused, but it is kind of shocking of like, you know, I used to not rely on Espeon Umbreon too much at first, but now I'm like, yeah, you know, I'll use them. And they're really good Pokemon. I get that now more in hindsight. I used to always think because they don't evolve, it's like, oh, you know, that must mean that they're maxed out. But like, they're really strong. They're really there on the stats. Bayleaf will get there, certainly, when Bayleaf evolves very, very shortly. Probably this stream. A good movie adaptation. Oh, I haven't gone about my Intel stuff yet. I haven't gone about my Intel stuff. You double newsed on me. Yeah, so the Panther Lake processors are, no, it's all good, it's all good. But yeah, they'll be described as the 300 series chips for mobile. So in particular, the ones you'll be looking for, especially if you're a fun gamer, is you're going to be looking for the either the 388H, 368H, or the 358H. They're all mostly the same chip. Like, they've got the same number of cores, the same amount of cache. Everything's basically the same. It's just the clock speeds are ever so slightly different. But you know, you'll probably find a decent discount on. Also, now I know I can't compete. Just hit your, thank you. Hit yourself in confusion, please. Also, yes, I am rocking the hyper mode on this one. We need that crit chance. Oh my goodness! Nothing works. I can't hit anything in this fight. It's terrible. And then you just keep spamming Sandstorm. Ah. But the one thing that I was very curious about, and it was sort of it was mentioned in the slides. They said, oh, you know, there's like a 70% improvement in graphics, and especially compared against AMD's was it Strix Point? So not Strix Halo, not the very, very insane ones that they've got, and also they're kind of expensive, but just their regular mobile lineup that has AI in the name, but just disregard that. These chips, as they've come out, especially the ones with the B390 graphics, which is such a misnomer. I find it so bizarre. They put the B in the front, which implies that it's Arc Battle Mage, the graphics architecture, and it's not. It's Celestial, but they called it B for some reason still. I don't know why. Not that kind of B. It's like the letter B. There's this darn Azumarill. This is a terrifying fight because of that. Now, Margarita might get whooped by an aerial ace, but you know what? Better to get through this fight than to suffer or waste items on it, I guess. And who knows, I might have a solid run on the remaining Pokemon. But, yeah. But, yeah, no, it turns out this, according to reviews, this is Intel's, what they describe it as, Intel's M1 moment, basically. Yeah, I wasn't expecting Margarita to get through any of this fight at all. This is effectively Intel's M1 moment. Maybe not as, like, dramatic an overhaul, but we've been waiting on Intel to really, like, come through with something incredible, and this is an actual leading chip. Maybe. Depending on your power target, of course. So Umbreon is dead because Sandstorm. The amount of times I've missed should indicate that I didn't have a plan. I don't have a strategy to deal with evasiveness, but isn't that everyone? Isn't that the reason why it's banned in tournaments? Because it just prolongs fights? And also, I don't have an answer for 2 uses of a Super Potion. Just end it now. Well, there you go. The outcome that we expected was there. I guess Justy is just too strong. You're right. Good thing my Pokemon never died, technically. With Hail too? Maybe. Should we be able to win next time? It's so over. Do I have to... Oh no, do I have to... Well, the Nuzlocke's not over. I've still got like 6 other Pokemon. There you go. Yeah, this is... There you go. I'm not the type that does thinking in my head. I know. I mean, here's the thing. You know, why do a Nuzlocke on a game that you barely remember, you know? I always find Nuzlocke to be very odd. Like, I get it as a challenge kind of mode, but like... I don't really know why. Sorry, I don't know why. I don't feel like it should be ever the default way of playing a Pokemon game. If you want to play a Pokemon game hard, what you do is that you impose just train multiple parties at once and keep swapping them out. So set yourself like level caps or targets, I guess, and just keep swapping out your Pokemon with weaker ones. I know there's no way to truly stop yourself, but that's part of the joy of Pokemon is experimenting and just trying out different ones and seeing what you get. For example, like I might as well swap Bayleaf out of the team. And we might as well, you know, spice up the party just a little bit. So let's get Bayleaf out. And I'm a big Quagsire fan. Actually, Flaffy would be amazing as well. Yeah, maybe let's rock Flaffy. Okay. Even though I know Bayleaf is awesome as well. But, like, who do I really want on my team? Quagsire is always a good, fun one, especially for your water-type coverage. Margarita, when he evolves, is great. Well, yeah. So none of these Pokemon... Well, first of all, we can't do the opening the heart yet, so there's really no reason for me to be holding on to Bayleaf at the hot moment. Also, let's drop a save, just so I've got that there. We don't need to be holding on to Bayleaf for the moment there. But we'll get there. We'll get there very soon. Don't you worry. I think. Actually, I'm really curious how far we have to go to do it, but... yeah, there's still a decent bit of game left. But it's like, yeah, you know, I've been playing for like 3 hours and... See, for me, it's 2 decades, so... ever so slight ha, but not really much of a ha. Hi there.
Too bad for you, this elevator is off limits.
You're not in uniform. You're just a regular chaser. We got the regular thugs to occupy this place. I don't know of any Kais. I know Kai Sanat, but Kai Sanat's not a girl with a midriff. They're cheaper. True, I guess. You pay him on commission. But yeah, no, so the reviews are great for the Intel chips. They're looking very, very solid. The efficiency is right where it needs to be. The battery life will therefore be quite good. There's actually one laptop and it's got a 99.9 watt or 99.8 watt hour battery. I think it's the Asus ZenBook. They basically crammed it in. Also, the ZenBook's got 2 big screens. You can use it in very weird ways. Will it be cheap? Not really. They are consumer grade. They are laptops, but I think the cheapest one I saw in a review was $1450 US, which will probably convert to somewhere, and this is the one with the 358H chip, but they've all got the same graphics unit, so that means they're all going to perform basically the same in games, and really they will perform mostly the same in games. So well, that'll convert to like 2,500, 2,600 Australian. It sounds like a fair bit, and I get it, but like, this thing is on par with a both a 4050 and a 5050 laptop, because the 5050 is about the same, and also it draws more power, and it's just not a great mobile chip. It's really not that great for mobile. And the vending machines are out of order. The world is ruined. Also, come on, you beat someone and they still won't let you... What do you think you're doing here? They still won't let you take the lift. You gotta take the stairs. Other than that, I think we basically got a whole of battles without actually really having the lift. Well, in this place maybe. And we got a load of battles without really any shadow Pokemon. I think. I don't remember there being that many shadow Pokemon here. Every time I want to use Helping Hand, it's like, you know, they often don't have as high special defense, and the confusion actually gets them in one hit. So it's like, what's the point in using Helping Hand right now? Just for the moment. I guess we're still fighting, and this is the curious one, is obviously one thing with Pokemon that we always keep noting is, should they have evolved their Pokemon by now? And the answer in almost every single one of these battles is a resounding yes. Sorry. Seriously, all of these Pokemon should have evolved. Secret power! But yeah, so, and I think, what was the example I saw? I saw like 1080p 60 on high in Cyberpunk at 15 watts on the GPU. Now, if you have a gaming handheld with one of these, and the thing's got a very, very, very decent battery life, I just want to add that, you know, you might get like a solid 3 or 4 hours of gameplay at that level. And honestly, I'm curious what people can do if they drove it to 7 watts has usually been the sweet spot on particularly the Zen 4 ones that I've seen. A lot of them do work, and also from experience actually, with what was it, my 8840HS. Also, you may be curious about that item, and I will promptly tell you you cannot get that item, but just so you know, doesn't open from the side. It's a shortcut back, but it's not a shortcut up. F you, my Pokemon are looking for the chance to go wild! Booyah! Okay. I misread that as Banana Guy. Ooh, Larvitar. I'm always a big fan of Larvitar. Geats of War, yes. No, I'm always a big fan of Larvitar. He's always good fun. But he's probably no match for the the old 1-2, so we'll take them out easy. But yeah, the other chips, they're fine. I think if you're looking for compute, you'd probably find a much better saving on not worrying about the graphics, so don't worry about it. But if you are a gamer, look for those chips. There's also, I think this is the 356H, and that's got a slightly toned down graphics chip. It's got 10 of the 12 XE cores that the other one has. So I think naturally, just expect 80-85% of the performance. Don't bite Carvana. You know he's got rough skin. You want to hit him from a distance. And don't use confusion. Okay, never mind. I've got nothing. I've completely forgot. I was like, oh, yeah, dark type. Now, if only you could catch Carvana. It'd be a bit broken then, wouldn't it? Also, in theory, I could be rocking an entire team of Shadow Pokemon through this, but we're keeping it nice and normal. We'll use Helping Hand. We'll help him out with the secret power and see what happens. But yeah, no, these chips are great. These chips are great, and I think that for the moment, like, why would you get this instead of an NVIDIA graphics card in your laptop? Well, I think one thing as well, Intel is also mandating, at least very hard, the firmware will not report that this is actually a B390 graphics unit unless the RAM is operating, I think, faster than 7466 memory, 7467. Basically, the RAM on the laptop has to be fast enough before it thinks the graphics should be considered that, which is actually a very, very nice, it's a very nice thing to be listed, because it basically means that your RAM on any of these laptops should actually be fairly fast, and faster RAM means much better, I guess, much better memory bandwidth, which generally would mean better performance in games on the integrated graphics. If you got a dedicated graphics card, it doesn't really matter as much. It does help, but not always. Abnormality detected. Target locked on. Oh my goodness. Hunter gear. Gotta move that gear up. So yeah, but no, I'm excited about these things. I hope we see them in gaming handhelds, and I hope they work really well on them. Hey, that's the same gag twice. That's the same gag twice. Let's get rid of Remoraid first. Let's just get him with the old 1-2 here. Ouchies. Oof, ouchies. That is true. That is true. Yeah. So that's really it for hardware that you can get these days. Certainly, I do wonder about the AMD efficiency thing, because I see reviewers sort of stopping at the defaults again, and I'm like, guys, you have been in this industry long enough to know that you can just tune the power settings, and I would like for people to control for power and see if the chip is indeed better binned. And instead, they put the chips in, they don't change any settings, they let the boards do what they want, and then they get different results, and then they wonder, or don't wonder, why the chips are different, and it's like, it's just weird variability. Especially as well when people have different motherboards and will get different outcomes. You gotta control for that. For the mobile chips, I guess it's a bit harder to control for that, because you can't just transplant it and change only one component, but ideally laptops are much more plentiful in the sense that you can get multiple laptops with the same chip, and therefore try to oh, look at this guy right here. My beloved Pokemon, see? Giggle. Fresh prey! We need a giggle counter. We got 2 of these giggles this stream. Wingull! Everyone likes a good old Wingull. Yeah. but other than that, I don't really have too much to say about these chips, but I'm happy about the Intel stuff. Also, this is the first Intel, like, I guess, generation of chips, big batch of chips, made on their 18A process, which they famously didn't make Meteor Lake and Arrow Lake in their own fabs. Intel offloaded all that to TSMC, which is like, oh, these are not traditional Intel chips. I mean, that's fine, but it's like the whole point of why Intel was they did it all themselves and basically had a very American-owned industry, and they lost that for a bit. And this is the one that they've been building up to again, and who knows what's going to happen afterwards, but it's very, very promising that they're getting really good efficiency. The performance is great. The fact that it's running well in games is a very, very good plus. Also, the fact that I think it's got a... Does it have vPro support? Not too sure if it does. Those are some great balls. Darn difficult books. So I guess in theory I should be mixing up my Pokemon every so often. But I'm kind of liking just having them passive. Like, here's Makuhita, he's done. I don't need to hold on to him anymore. Let's put Quagsire in the party. Great vegetables. Exactly. Exactly. So it wouldn't be also, is that a... That's not the lift, by the way. It's a very tall lift. It just keeps going. It wouldn't be a Biendeo stream if I didn't comment on the AI situation of the now. That's right. It's your regular time of Biendeo AI doomerism. But actually, this is a good month, or a good week of AI news, in the sense that it's showing the collapse a bit sooner than we expected. And I've got two cases of, I guess, the collapse. The first one is, the obvious one, is we always like ripping on Microsoft and Windows. I think I keep seeing, like, Microsoft says, or the Windows team says, and I really need to find a source on... I like how I did that, and I didn't even switch to Pokemon. When they did... exactly. Yeah, I didn't switch my Pokemon. I gotta do that. I gotta make sure I do that. I'm too used to playing... I've been playing a bit more Mario Mon. I'm very slowly but surely getting through it. But you can switch your Pokemon at any time in Mario Mon, so I'm like, that's why I keep getting used to the fact that I've done it already. Also, you can tell that my controller isn't perfect if the diagonals aren't working great. That's fine. You're like bug Pokemon drawn to a candle. I'm going with these Pokemon. There's a bit of a translation there. Okay, sure, yeah. But yeah, so whatever, you know, the Windows team has basically said they need a pause. They need a break from doing particularly AI features, but really any features, because nothing works. There was a lot of different various reports, different introductions of features have been breaking core Windows elements, whether people cannot log in, whether people cannot boot, whether people continually have crashes. If you're an Xbox ROG Ally owner, you might be wondering, why doesn't my device actually why doesn't that program work anymore? There's a lot of weird ones, and there's a lot of reasons. But I think certainly the quality assurance on any of Microsoft's stuff has been absolutely abysmal in the past few months. Like, really, really abysmal. Never mind all the questionable decisions that we've seen them make time and time again. But the fact that we have constantly seen it degrade, people have really called out all these questions. Yeah, and yet they still get tons of investor money. Also, their stock price absolutely tumbled because I think they announced that they were still about to send more fake money towards OpenAI, and you might be wondering, fake money as in, like, they do a deal where they are effectively funding OpenAI with basically cloud resources. Side note, by the way, Microsoft actually makes the plurality of their money through the Azure cloud service and not actually through Windows licenses. In fact, I don't even think Windows licenses is that high up on the list. Maybe it is. It's decently up there, but pretty sure like Enterprise Office actually shows up quite a bunch of company stocks. Yes. So I'll end the topic, the AI collapse topic, with that. But yeah. So, but it, you know, I'd say it's a good thing that that Microsoft is spending the time to fix bugs, because you know, at least for me personally, I've been tinkering around more, and I've been really trying to wrap my head around daily driving Linux. I've sort of kind of did a little bit for my university laptop when I was studying. I didn't really commit to it too much though. I sort of was more a thin client, so I had a couple of programs and that was it. But now I feel like, yeah, you know, I really want to try and take every use case I've got and start running on Linux. At some point, maybe I'll do my streams on Linux. Maybe. I know DaVinci Resolve is on Linux, so I can start using that at some point. OBS is on Linux, although learning about OBS VK Capture has been a curious one. And also how to apply that, and also GameScope, and also Mango HUD. I mean, I don't really need Mango HUD as I'm recording things for stream, but it's definitely something where it's like, no, I'm curious about what to do around there. I do audio production, and so I want to set up Reaper. And I know someone's going to say I'm using Bazzite. Why on earth am I using Bazzite when I'm doing audio and video production? I get it, but in theory it shouldn't change too much depending on which, you know, Universal Blue image I'm using, really. I think if you wanted to point out I'm using something different, then you'd be like, oh, okay, we'll use like Ubuntu Studio or something. Reaper, oh yeah. It's all man, actually, isn't it? But no, so it's just trying to figure out how to, you know, maybe wrap things up as app images, or get into the habit of using DistroBox when I need to. Everything has a solution, I'd imagine. I don't think you could really get thrown off too much, other than just needing to use RPM OS tree install for particularly system drivers. So I got something working with my audio interface. Not really for audio drivers, it works fairly fine, but I do want to get something that's kind of equivalent to ACO and really drive that latency down to the, you know, several millisecond number instead of several dozen milliseconds. But it's much better than several hundreds of milliseconds. So certainly there's that. This is a nice party of 3 flying types, even though all of them can evolve. But yeah, no, I do wanna learn more. Is there anything else? I've got a capture card. That's my only gripe. So I actually really want to like raw dog fix the driver. Someone's got a driver that kind of makes it work, kinda. Yeah, that's the reason why you failed. You didn't have the shadow Pokemon. Gosh, it's all just hallways. Isn't it? The angle is kind of weird as well, because you can barely see yourself. They're solid troopers. Yeehaw. Huntatura. The Ice Gang. I think the problem with that Umbreon and Espeon is almost everything is susceptible to Psychic and Dark. I'm really not learning that many moves, I guess because they're already there. I mean, we've only gone up like 7 levels since the start of the game. When you start at level 25, you're kind of most of the way there, and I think the game ends at around level 50, so... Yeah, imagine a Pokemon game where you start halfway in the progression. Yeah. Yeah, so I do need to experiment more with dailying Linux, but I think other than like the weird bits, like in case the thing freezes, you know, the desktop compositor crashes in some variety, because I am, you know, toying around with tons of settings and stuff. Maybe not tons of settings, but like, you know, sometimes you're throwing things at it in a bit of a weird way. That may not be snow. We go with the snow, except the snow that is yellow. How'd this happen? Well, you see, I knocked out your Pokemon. My Pokemon are decent, huh? Even though they can't win. I do like Spheal and Snorunt. They are good fun. Dude, these guys have a real feng shui problem. Maybe they've done this so that they can blame the furniture instead of themselves for their own problems. Look at that, it's a revive. And terrible architecture. Holy crap, this whole place is falling apart.
My Pokemon can dance with elegance even in a dump like this.
Wow. You're self-aware about it. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to daily Linux a bit. It's going to be a gradual process because I've generally had a good time with Windows. But then there's things like, I was helping a mate out, and that mate had 100 megabytes of storage. Or, sorry, 100 gigabytes of storage on their drive, and it was constantly getting eaten up. Like, within minutes, they'd clear off gigabytes of space, and suddenly it'd be gone in minutes. And through a bit of an extensive process, we found out that it's actually Logitech G Hub was just writing very large files to the Windows system temp folder, which was quite odd. But also this made me go, I don't think 100 gigs is satisfactory for Windows anymore. Pedal Dance is going to be a very aggressive move. Actually, that's not too bad. Sorry, not Pedal Dance. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of a different one. But yeah, what I found out is that as well, Windows has, and I knew this, Windows has multiple components to it, like things like the Start menu, Windows Explorer, the Settings menu, various menus. Actually, maybe not the Settings menu. Oh, maybe the Settings menu now, actually. So many screens in Windows are actually web browsers. And I know this isn't necessarily a new thing. There's fun ones, like, did you know I think the Wii Systems menu is a web browser, technically. There's a lot of weird ones like that, but every single one of these programs individually has the Microsoft Edge WebView distributables separately. Multiple programs on your computer all just invoke Microsoft Edge, which you probably also have. So why do we need compartmentalized programs all over the place? I have no idea. That is wasting like at least 10 gigabytes of space on everyone's Windows installations. It's a complete waste. Absolute waste of space. And people on 100 gigabytes of storage, oh boy, my computer is 10% eaten up by the same web browser again and again. Geez, I wonder why people are having problems with Windows. Like, yeah. Exactly, this one's way worse. There is no reason why they've got even, like, they're not even sharing things like that. And honestly, like, I don't think an operating system should even be really above 10 gigs. Like, it just depends on how much software you bundle with it. Obviously, the core of the operating system, like, if you've just got the bare necessities, it's got a desktop, it handles some basic drivers, maybe, actually. You got a web browser. I think the average person would probably like an email client and a calendar and a calculator and just and a notepad program, just some things like that. You shouldn't be peaking over 10 gigs by doing that. And I don't think I think maybe there might be a Linux distro that does that, but like, most of the ones are just bigger because they are shipping with things like the NVIDIA drivers on disk or something like that, and that's always half a gigabyte just on its own. Also, I'm an NVIDIA user. I just want to pretend that if I have any problems, I'm blaming NVIDIA. You turned the tables on me. What blind spot did you exploit? There's been a lot of trainers in this place, hasn't there? How many have there been? There's 4 on this floor, I am sure. NVIDIA consumers don't... Oh, true, yeah. 5, 6... Not saying the number. 8. And there were 2 downstairs. We fought 10 people already. Wow. The brain rot is absurd with saying 6, 7 all the time, by the way. I can't get around it. My mate told me a fun joke, though, which was, why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7 is a registered 6 offender. That's a fun one for the advertisers. And a cannibal, that is true. That is true. That is true. So, I mean, okay, so you see the lift over there, but hold on, we can't get over there, just for note, because, I mean, it's not like there's really any mystery walls in this game, but that's not secretly a door. Who knows? We'll figure this out later, maybe. Gonna work your way around people. Hi there. Actually, you've got the secret lift. Darling, aren't you one of Duking's people? What made you think that you could simply waltz in here? Such a silly boy. Where's Mirror B? I'm taking him down. Take him down after the beating you took? That's too funny. Talk about the Genie. I haven't talked about the Genie 3 thing yet. So the other one I was going to mention for the AI story just before the Genie 3 is the famous gunner. Yes. Hi there. We seem to be getting a lot of unexpected company today, but that's no excuse for being a bad host. Ah. Wreath and reward. I don't know. Remoraid and Spinnerack. We've seen a Remoraid today, haven't we? I don't think we've seen Spinnerack today. Maybe I did, actually. Didn't one of the Colosseum fights have Spinnerack? So, but yeah, one of the other things I wanted to mention was a program by the name of... well, so finally, a Shadow Pokemon. It's been a while. I've only caught one today. I wanted to mention a program by the name of... what was it? It was called... Claudebot, and then they named it to Maltbot, and then they named it to Open Claw, like a crab. Probably because Anthropic wasn't particularly happy about their names, but effectively this is a program that really does try to advertise itself. It's open source, and you can host it yourself, and you can even run it entirely offline, but it tries to be that actual real local like model, that local agent that does... Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to reload. I saved downstairs, but that was a single bite. Dang, dude. Alright, hold on, we got this, we got this. We got... That's not... Listen, that was using bite, that wasn't even... Is there an easy way to do resets, or is it like... No, you basically just have to like... You basically just have to hit the restart button. I wish I had it on a button bind, so I'd have to do the ugly thing. Biendeo moment. This is the one thing. I knew this would happen at some point. We got decently far in before I had to drop a restart. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And then this is when I cry in case this doesn't. Nah, that's fine. That's fine. We're all good. If you're wondering what that other person says, I'm pretty sure they won't do anything. They basically funnel you into that room. But man, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised the bite was that strong. The bite of 87. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a bot. Yeah. We've just captured an intruder. I do like the view up here. It's kind of good fun. Bite the hand. That's DLC on Warriors of Rock. I wrote achievement titles on that one. I remember that one. And it's also in Rock Band. I've been listening to that song a bunch. Anyways, back to the fight. Back to the fight again. Yeah, so this bot, it reads and sends emails, it can read and make calendar appointments, it can tell files on your computer, you can even ask it to do some scripty kinds of things and it'll figure it out and do it. It can query web pages and try to language parse them. It tries to do a whole shebang of things to basically get into the whole... The AI is now smart enough, guys. We are really doing it. I'm going to just start throwing Pokeballs at this thing, because... Why are we back to 99 Pokeballs? Didn't I buy even more? We hit 109, didn't we? On the previous menu, and I haven't been throwing anything. Am I just... Am I wasting Pokeballs by just passing the 99 counter? Oh, okay, I didn't even see the second one there. We're not panicking. It's all good. Why do I even need... I don't even need to weaken her. I could have just done that. Maybe I should be trying that every time. Nah, the real Biendeo moment is just catching him first go. No sweat. I don't think it can solve the trolley problem though. But obviously, with great power comes great security vulnerabilities, is the phrase. I love, by the way, the Pokemon isn't even gone. Like, sorry, it's not even dead in the top right. It's gone. It's gone from the party. That's a very fun little touch. I hope people notice that one. Love Disc, I don't remember being a particularly great Pokemon. Destroyed. It's fast-ish. I guess it's not as fast as an Espeon at first, but I don't think it's got that great stats. Especially when you only give it agility and you don't actually get it to do anything else that's useful. At least we got some more money, so that's okay. But yeah, great power comes great security vulnerabilities, which means be prepared for the consequences. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. Everyone likes Mantine here. So people have figured out how to exploit this bot. Basically, if you query this web page in any incidental way, we can start doing some vulnerability exploits and just at some point get your computer to then call a real script and start doing real fun stuff, which is not good. It's really not good. And especially, I feel like a lot of people who do use these particularly high power AI tools, I'll say, maybe that's a high scope. Throw that Pokeball. No, we're going to use Bite. It's Mantine. It's not Remoraid, it's Mantine. You can take a bite. But it is kind of annoying that you gotta do 2 fights back to back, I guess. Listen, I'd be very surprised. Yeah, like, it's Mantine. Like, hold on, what's Mantine's base stats? Okay, hold on, is that hold on, is Dark a special type in this gen? I've completely forgotten, I'm clicking on it. Is it special? It is! That's the reason why that didn't do that much damage. Okay. Well, I think I would probably do a tad bit more damage with a return, because he has a special wall. I've completely forgotten that Dark was a special type. So we're going to drop a return on him, which shouldn't be as bad, because Espeon isn't as strong an attacker and special. But also, if I just catch him, then cool. But I do think Mantine will probably not be happy about getting caught like this. Okay, okay. Listen, I will rather accept that as Australian return comes naturally. That is true. Listen, for one tragedy, we're getting a bit of success on the catches, so I shall take my wins as they come. Ferret does indeed walk. He do be walking. Here's a question as well. I'm just curious about Umbreon's stats here. I know I should be using my... Oh, he's very mixed attacker, so it doesn't really matter that I'm using... There's She-Walk. That is true. That is true. Do not misgender my Ferret. I don't even know what's going on there. Can't believe that's the bot, so... but yeah, I don't know what's with like these high-scope AI tools, and they immediately get a lot of popularity, I think, because people do want... They're really, really striving for that one real AI assistant. I love the idea that we can start getting this stuff running locally, although in theory I feel like it probably needs to outsource a lot of stuff to a big OpenAI server in order to really work at a good speed or at a good power consumption in your house. But, you know, the theory's still there. I dig what they're trying to go for. But obviously, please do not run this without sandboxing it. Please. And also, one insidious thing is that you're also clearly giving it access to read and send emails, which means you can easily just convince this AI, like as a website, you can convince this AI to just send credentials to someone, and it'll just do that. You can easily, like, delete major files on the computer. And I feel like a lot of computers are stupid. A lot of computers are very dumb, and they're very easy to convince doing terrible things to the people that own them. So please do not put your eggs in that basket. Use it as a complete curiosity venture. I love seeing, like, what people can do with technology. Full stop. That's great. But, yeah, like, you have to be responsible with it, fellas. Also, the naming is a bit curious, because Anthropic, I guess, feels very threatened by this open source project that they... True. Yeah. In the realm of software, I feel like everyone is preoccupied by whether they can and not whether they should. Cat is always out of the bag. What just happened? Unbelievable, too! Me when I need to come up with unique dialogue. Wreath, let's make ourselves scarce for the time being. Righto, Firma. Ultra Super Fire Dash. Woo. There they go. Hi there. Do you know Juking? Yeah. I didn't know what was happening at all. They're taking Juking's Pokemon hostage. How could they do something so downright dirty?
That's why we're here, to come to rescue Plusle. We didn't come to rescue you.
I'm going too.
Not in your condition. You'll have to wait here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta do the accent again. It was a very gay accent. What was it? We meet again, kiddies. Oh, that's really not good.
Mirror B, you cowardly cheat.
Cowardly cheat? That's so not true. Taking a hostage is perfectly fine. It's a bargaining tactic. Yeah, it was a squeaky voice more than a gay voice.
You call that a tactic? Plus, it better be okay. Oh, the darling couldn't be any safer if it tried. I'm sure it will come to adore me before too much longer. You've got to be kidding. Where is it? Give it back. Whoa, no running or hiding for me. Come to the cave. That's where I'll be. I'll be waiting for you, my pretties.
You nearly fully rhymed on that one, but you didn't. I got creamed by the guys. Oh, phrasing. But check it out, it's a book. The Ein File. Reverse selling, oh true. Would you like to go through this cave to see the treasure on the other side? A shadow Pokemon is a Pokemon that has been made into a fighting machine by artificially shutting the door to its heart. What we didn't know is that the shadow Pokemon exude a dark aura that can't normally be seen by the human eye. Unfortunately, a girl with the ability to see this dark aura has been discovered. This is a major problem. Do not... No, it's EIN, it's okay. Actually, does this spell like that? Who knows? Wow! It was the mystery that I was expecting. How do I get to the other side of the door? Just further in the dungeon. And there's 3 hyper potions. Wow! Is that an actual one-way? It is a proper one-way door, though. How very odd. Alright, let's see if my Pokemon are ready. I assume Quagsire is nowhere near, because I've just had him in the... I've really had most of these people in the party. I guess Noctowl's an OG still. Back to full health. But yeah. Anyway, the moment you've been waiting for. Let's talk about Gemini 3. Google, in the realms of the AI market, the AI ecosystem, really should have been the first ones, because they literally founded, was it Gemini Genie? I think it's both. No, actually, it could just be Genie. I don't know. I follow AI stuff, but I don't exactly, like, purchase it. So, That's on me for not really knowing that one. But Google should have really been like pioneers in the AI space because they funded, was it DeepMind? And they were making their own tensor units to do the AlphaGo stuff way back like 10 years ago. And so I'm amazed that one, they have never sold this hardware to end users. Oh, I get it. You guys weren't new recruits, but just intruders too. That guy earlier was too weak for words. How about you? Are you going to keep me amused? Oh. But yet somehow Google sort of dropped the ball on a lot of their early AI products. ChatGPT came out. Obviously, that's the catalyst in the coal mine. That's not the analogy. Also, we're on the ground in the battlefield because I guess we're outside, so it just thinks we're in an outside area. It's a bit odd. I'm gonna look because that's a shadow Pokemon. Unfortunately, Quillfish doesn't evolve in this game, so we're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Use return and hope for the best. We're keeping it gentle with return for the moment. Surf's up, dude. I don't imagine Quillfish is a particularly hard catch. Actually, is he? Maybe he's not. Who knows? But yeah. Anyway, we're up to this point where Google has come back. They've actually gotten fairly okay. There was a very, very solid amount of time when their Google AI Gemini results were absolute memes. I think everyone remembers various ones that just basically it skimmed Reddit and it gave answers like, in order to make your pizza, like if you're making a cheese pizza and you want to make it stickier, just add like 1/8 of a cup of glue to it, which was clearly taken from a Reddit post, but the fact that it repeated it verbatim with absolutely no knowledge of the fact that that was a meme of a Reddit post goes to show that this AI model is not exactly acting in people's best interests, is the easy way to say it. Let's get that Lanoon out of the way. Lanoon. And now they're making game. Well, okay, so, but now we're getting to this point where, you know, it's gotten better. Gemini, in particular, for its image generation, was actually a bit lauded. Oh, snap. The one time I actually start, like, throwing damage at a Pokemon, and it's not good enough. I do have Noctowl, who does know Hypnosis, so I can fall back on that if I actually need a bit of extra chance to catch things. But in particular, we are now seeing, yeah, Google Genie AI. I'm not too sure if they've gone through incarnations of this before, but the main thing that they tried showing off was this idea that, and you couldn't synchronize that one, unfortunately. Actually, that's probably fortunate for me. But Google Genie AI, which from what I've seen, because you can't run it yourself right now, and I also have no idea how much this will cost, but the idea is that in the same way that we can describe, you know, text to image, text to video now, even text to audio, this is text to game. Big inverted commas. That wasn't too bad, actually. 2 goes. Not too bad. Big inverted commas on game, because we will dive into the definition of what is a game. Maybe not too much a definition of what is a game, but like obviously, you know, what exactly are we seeing, and what, when you say you're making a game, like what is the expectation on our hands? And but obviously, what is a game? A miserable little pile of code. Well, here's the problem, is that fundamentally, I don't even think this is a game in terms of a miserable little pile of code. I think what you're generally getting, actually, if you really want to step back, maybe it is a game at that point. That was fun. Fun. Well, I mean, he's a good sport about it. The poison. I can't believe they implemented poison like this. I mean, it's not as obnoxious a screen flash as Ruby Sapphire, but it is still like, yeah, I gotta keep doing this to save my my shadow Pokemon I keep catching. You know, I feel like there's more trainers in this area than there even was, like, leading up to it, you know? It's just all trainers at this point. You don't have an antidote? It's not that I don't have an antidote, it's that I'm an absolute cheap bugger who, I'm gonna run down... Well, because I also wanted to save. So it's just so convenient to just keep going back to the exact same save point every time. The fact you can't save from the menu is always a bit of a gripe, but we'll get there. But yeah, I don't think this thing is actually running code. The example I want to pitch is very, very, very yonkers back. If you remember, there was a demo that... And it's weird, we've had Quake 2 RTX, which was... It's not AI, but we were using the same hardware for that. And now we got this one, which was like Microsoft, I think, made one, which was a neural network, basically imagination of oh, look at that. Hyper potion. Oh my gosh. She is very big. As a very big bodybuilder. You can tell it's a mine because it's just factories steaming all over the place. What a big room. But yeah, if you remember the Quake 2 demo, where basically it imagined what Quake 2 would be like with various player inputs without actually playing the game. So it was all temporal based, and the player inputs would be part of the neural network input generation for... This floor is my territory. Oh, okay. We are Siamese, if you please. North is a brilliant 3rd gen Pokemon. Maybe it's evolution. I prefer the Mardo. Didn't I use a Mardo on my team? It was just, yeah. I mean, to some degree, like, it's an all AI image generation. Basically, that isn't it? Kind of weird hodgepodge of things put together. I mean, we're not running linear algebra in our brains, but you know what I mean, where like it's effectively like weird neuron connections. I mean, that's what the original neural network was, a perceptron. It basically... Dreams are free. True. At some point, they will be running AIs on... Like... We've got lab-grown brains, by the way. Not as in we, as in me, but as in society. We have created brains. They're not very big brains, but you can indeed rent out the brain to do computation, which seems so surreal when you think about it. But yeah, the Quake 2 demo, I mean, I thought it was a very neat demo. I don't know if I ever did talk about it on stream. I think I might have. But it's a very interesting demo. Will it make you sick? 100%. Is this how games should be? 100% no. Like, Quake 2 ran... maybe it didn't run on potatoes at the time, but now it runs on potatoes. Well, what a great boss fight, or trainer fight. Okay. Hi there. What's going on? Amazing. I go through so many trains before you even get to the mechanic where you can actually, like, unless you have a name born. Maybe. Okay, well, let's, actually, we can bite the rolls, can't we? Yeah, look at this fight. It's set up just for us. How convenient. Oh, that's so convenient there. So, but yeah, so the Quake 2 demo, it's neat. Rods means the game. Well, probably as Gardevoir if Rods can evolve, and that only depends on whether we can catch him or not. Who knows? Let's just fight the Shroomish, I guess. Yeah, it's very peculiar, yes. But yeah, no, I like the demo. The obvious problems with the Quake 2 demo. Actually, it's not too bad with Quake 2, but it was so heavily trained on the first level that you will constantly get yourself stuck in the first level. In fact, it really doesn't know what the end of the level means. And so if you even attempted to leave the level, if you somehow managed to get to the end of a level, it would kind of just try to bring you back to the beginning of the level. Maybe it's exclusively trained off level 1. Maybe that was why. But yeah, you'd often have a problem where if you basically stared directly at a wall and you didn't have any other like landmarks on screen, the game would, the neural net would forget where you were and would just look. It would just, you'd turn around, you'd be at some arbitrarily different wall that might have looked the same, but maybe. Hold it. Hold it right there, criminal scum. Not a bagel. But yeah. Later, I think Microsoft also did a demo for Minecraft, and Minecraft highlights even more worse things. Also, we gotta catch this Metatide, don't we? Minecraft highlights even more worse things about this whole system because Minecraft doesn't have static map geometry. That's enough of it here. I'm not going to risk anymore. But Minecraft doesn't have static map geometry. So what it can perceive as the remaining world really can't be remembered. Whereas at least in Quake 2, it's like, well, it knows that on the other side of the room when you're looking at this corner is that room, is what looks like that room. Ooh, high jump kick. Whoa. That's what I gotta watch out for on high jump kick. But now's a good time to start catching them. I'm gonna annoyingly fill up my inventory with spare Pokeballs in various arrangements. But yeah, with the Minecraft demo, it's like if you're looking at any wall, it doesn't really. There's no remembrance of what's behind you, really, unless you turn around and you quickly turn back. There's a little bit of a temporal effect there. But if the temporal window has closed, if you stared at the wall too much, everything behind you has changed. Also, even if you stare at lava, it thinks you're suddenly staring at dirt after a while. Look, dirt. This one's going to be an interesting one to do, because I think he's going to move after me. You know, let's be fancy. I don't know if Misdreavus is immune to ground. Probably not. We're just gonna do this for the fun of it. Sending out Pokemon. Yeah, Noctowl's ready for a thing. I might as well switch him out. We caught a Shadow Pokemon. I gotta run back to the PC again. Hey, that was a good call. And I've got Fly. But now I'm angry. So we get to the Genie 3 demo. Yes, so the Genie 3 demo is an interesting one because effectively they've combined the text transformer approach into a playable game approach. So effectively, and this one's a curious one from a training data perspective, because I guess you'd have to think about how does the training data... Well, I guess the training data is probably based on player input and then also game actions. So rather than knowing, like... I mean, it's probably trained on various examples of games as well, and, you know, there's text transformer descriptions of what's going on, but it also does need to describe controls. What you end up getting is a very curious model where, at least from what the videos are, you'd get a curious model that can turn text descriptions of playing some sort of video game into a real playable game. And that real playable game, I mean, it's not a real playable game, it's a interactive video, effectively. You're sending player inputs, and the video feedback that you're getting back, because you're really just getting temporal images in, you know, played fast enough that it feels like it's a video, and maybe there's sound involved actually, I'm very curious about the latency, by the way. But effectively, you are... Yeah, weird GTA 5. Yeah, I did see the weird GTA 5 one. And I feel like it's because there's an absurd amount of GTA 5 footage out there. I love the ones where it's like, you can take a picture of your face and turn it into a PS2 character. Like, have we not been able to do that already? Like, really? Is that brand new? Really? But effectively, all that you're seeing, there is no real game running under the hood. Like the Quake 2 and the Minecraft demo, effectively what you're seeing is the natural guessing of face rated on the... You know, exactly. iToy Play 2. We had that. It was a fun feature. If anyone played that one, that was a good fun one. Everyone likes a good long dungeon, don't they? The fact that it's like 2 stages back to back and I gotta keep running to the very beginning. And remember, like, this is a Pokemon game with no wild Pokemon. It makes these dungeons very curiously empty. And ever so slightly repetitive looking. Whoops, roadblock. This is a no-through street. Oh my gosh. Yeehaw. But yeah, remember, there is no code. It's effectively guessing what would happen in a game should you be pressing buttons in a certain way. I don't know what buttons it does expose, if at all. Like, would it just be arrow keys, or WASD keys, or Xbox controller? I'm really not too sure. I haven't really gotten an explanation for that one yet. And I feel like I just need to look into it a bit more. Play around with it. Hopefully they've got some demos so I can actually, like, toy around with. Because I would like to see this. I would, like... you know, you mentioned, Fetty, you mentioned the stocks going down. And that's because, hold on, I've got a wonderful tweet from one of my favorite boys on the Fetty. Self-described belly button inspector. He said, remember when, ever so slight paraphrase, remember when investors thought NFTs would let items move between games seamlessly because they have absolutely no idea how games work? Same people are now being, manipulated by AI, generating a 3D environment from a description. Like, that's all a game is. And he's 100% right. He's absolutely 100% right. That, like, the reason why you're seeing stock values drop is because all of these investors are idiots. All of these investors are actually stupid if they think this is... Yes. Well, I wouldn't say investors in general. But I certainly think these people... Anyone who actually thinks that video games don't need to take hundreds of millions of dollars anymore because now Google has this tool that can just make the game for them is an absolute, like, brainlet. Like, I'm gonna throw all the, like, soft insults in this one, but, like, legit. Like, it's not a, oh, educate yourself, you don't know how game dev work. Like, one, you are right, games shouldn't take that much money to make. Holy crap, like, what is happening? This industry is insane. Movies barely take that much money. And if they do, they're Avatar. They're gonna make billions of dollars back. Yeah, exactly. Well, I say let them dig their own grave, but, like, the problem is that, like, most of these examples has been walking sim. Movies are in a curious spot. The nice thing with movies is that the barrier of entry doesn't necessarily have to be that high. You can find talent, and you can produce a movie on a much lower and, if maybe more traditional budget. The only problem is screening and distribution, so... but hey, if Markiplier can do it, maybe you don't actually need a big film industry anymore. Who knows? Also, these movie theaters are certainly kind of, you know, they're kind of dying for some traction, so it kind of will work there. I heard about that one. I don't know too much about that one. But yeah, no, investors are very, very, very silly for thinking that, you know, games are only walking sims. Now, granted, if they only know of video games from the past 5 years, then maybe actually. I had to opt into this to this trainer fighter. Wow. But no, legit, I wouldn't say like all games in the past 5 years are just walking sims, but there's a remarkable amount of slop and just so many games out there that are just like realistic walking kinds of games. You know, maybe a bit of the Dark Souls combat, maybe a bit of driving or something like that. You know, it's a very, very rough. Like, I don't actually think that's a great like summarization of the game industry. But you know what I mean? I feel like there are a remarkable amount of games that play hard on the whole. Look how realistic and visually, appealing this game is. It looks just like a big Hollywood movie. And I swear we've been doing this song and dance for like 30 years at this point. And I know we get almost there, but the problem is that once you have the game in motion, people don't want it controlling like GTA 4, where your character trips and then is just an absolute like dead weight for a bit. And if anything as well, I feel like GTA 5 is a much less realistic moving game, but a much more like appealing game to control. Not to say GTA 4 is a bad game. I love GTA 4 in various ways. Games can only be artistic if they ape not somewhat as well. In fact, I really hate how many games are artistic, games as art, and all it is that it's storytelling, it's narrative, it's writing, it's occasionally cinematography and actual filmmaking, but it is very rarely mechanics. And if it is mechanics, it's, I don't want to say shallow, things like the microwave chamber scene, the microwave tunnel scene, or I guess any RPG with you have to basically experience the failure kind of scenario. Isn't that weird? I gotta fight 4 Lotads here. It is good, but what I mean is that I don't want that to be the sole example of why, like, when video games are artsy is because when they stop being gamey. How would I put this? Move the mic because my posture's going crazy right now. Video games are art in the sense that great mechanics are its artistic value. And I say this in the exact same breath as I'd say a board game is a piece of art. That is one that, like, people don't quite bring up all the time, but legit, a great game, whether it be in an electronic media, whether it be a board game or a card game, or it's literally tic-tac-toe, all that stuff, can be a piece of art because it demonstrates something about humanity, which I know is like such a very broad way of savage. It's such a broad way of describing it, but like, isn't that kind of art? Is that art can really be such a broad brush? And to me, I think that there is something to be said about very many games out there. The reason why electronic media is very easy to fall down into the whole like games is because the first half of the name is video. It can be video games, and therefore it can be a video piece of media. We've also had that line blurred for quite a while with FMV games, so it's like start getting games that are not strictly arcade games, but they're just literally movies. And to some degree, we've always had was it Dragon's Lair? Space Ace? Yeah. Video games are, well, yeah, to some degree, but movies are hybrid. They involve pre-recorded theater, effectively. In fact, you go to a theater. So, yeah, good level design is definitely, I 100% agree. More polygons is more emotions. There is some extent where, like, you know, when characters look like, let's just say Deus Ex, it's like, okay, the characters in Deus Ex are not particularly expressive. The nice thing about Deus Ex is that everyone is a robot, so narratively it actually works out okay. Actually, not everyone's a robot. Yeah, this movie genre, yeah. But like, yeah, this is the weird part, is like, how do we... I feel that emphasize no story because yeah, I guess it does depend. There are some games, like, I think a lot of people will say Tetris is a very mechanically you know, consistent and very influential game of that time. Is it really artistic in many of the other movie senses? Not really. Tetris, I mean, it might have some nice music, sometimes some nice atmosphere. Tetris Effect is probably an incredible example, actually. Yeah, exactly, as well. Sometimes movies are just like a spectacle. People want to see spectacle stuff. People want to play games because games are fun. I love that move. You know, let's commit. Let's commit. Flaffy is out. The Flaffy is out. This is my problem with using Shadow Pokemon. They all know Shadow Rush, which is great as, like, I use the attack and I win. But almost all Shadow Pokemon fights are going to be like this, where it's just like, I try to use an attack and then he just hyper modes. And I also only have one attack, really. I get that we need to burn through the Shadow Pokemon in order to, you know, start using them in, well, I guess evolving them and things like that, but, like, you know, it's, like, here I am, I've been using Umbreon and Espeon for a while, and I will rip this game a little bit. I've been using Umbreon and Espeon for a while. Umbreon has basically had Bite the entire time. Espeon has basically had Confusion for most of the game. In fact, we're even up to level 36. At least I got Feint Attack now. I've got another Dark Attack. I mean, it is a better move than Bite, but only, like, a tad bit. It would have been nice to have against the pre-gym fight. But I mean, it's, you know, it's the same power attack, and because we don't have the physical special split, doesn't really mean that much. So back to Genie. Genie doesn't understand art. And I know that's such a pretentious way of dismissing this whole thing by saying this doesn't convey art. But what I mean is that what exactly makes a game amazing? What makes a game incredible? Only a sentient being can... I wouldn't necessarily say only a sentient being. I feel like at some point I'll get punished. Do not punish. Consider yourselves lucky. Okay. I do think that maybe, like, I don't want to guarantee that only humans can make pure art. I feel like at some point we are going to reach this weird point where people will feel AGI is how would I put it? I feel like people will feel very content with consuming the AI slop in some way and convey some proper meaning out of it. When we say AGI, I mean, AGI doesn't necessarily... You can still have an AI that's good at, like, some purpose, and that purpose will be enough to create an artistic piece of work. I think the end goal of general intelligence is that not only can it produce the art, but it can also reason, and also it's neurologically intended for the art to be moving, as opposed to what most AI art is right now, which is an amalgamation of concepts and things like that in an attempt to mimic the training data. Then it's a person. Well, it doesn't necessarily need to, like, participate in the full suite of human features in order to be like that, I guess. Like, I feel like we can make good art before we reach the full, you know, proper personhood of a computer just yet. Neither do people. maybe. But also, I would just add as well, yeah, a lot of people are shallow, I would probably say, in their consumption. I mean, people watch The View. People watch, like, you know, daytime television and constant game shows. And some game shows are okay, and some of them are Tipping Point, and I will forever yell at Tipping Point. I'm not a big fan of Tipping Point, but it's always in that prime time 5 o'clock spot on Channel 9 just before the news, and it's the only thing that will be on before I... There's an Metallica album called The View? Is that... Oh, unless that's a brand new one I've just completely glossed over. Would Lou. Well, okay, if it's with Lou Reed, it's not new then. That was Lulu, wasn't it? Yeah, that was Lulu, wasn't it? Not The View. I haven't listened to the album, but I do remember it not being particularly received well. That's right, this dungeon continues to go... Ah, the view from the album. Coo. I just got cooed. Listen, I was going to say as well, there's a reason why out of all the Guitar Hero and all the Rock Band stuff, I am the tape Drew. Out of all the Rock Band stuff, I saw nothing off that album. No one even wants to touch it. Oh, there's a shadow Pokemon. Oh, I guess now I've got Feint Attack, but you know, it is Dunsparce. I might as well just go for it. You know Dunsparce, he's gonna be weak as. He's gonna fall over in a heartbeat. Maybe not. Maybe I actually do need to hit him with something. Bonk. This really shouldn't do any more damage than it used to, but... He even tried looking at me. It wasn't even good enough. Doesn't this Mareep have static? I'm about to get bit by static. So from a technical basis, mind you, I do think that the Genie thing is actually quite neat technology in terms of turning text into an interactive... well, okay, Dunsparce is a lot bulkier than I remembered. It's very interesting in turning text into some form of interactable material. I do think, let's not downplay what it is. Somewhat trifling as an actual... Yeah, in terms of replacing computer-programmed video games, no, it will never do that. Because I think you will, in the same way as the Minecraft and the Quake 2 demos failed to consistently make their world, I think you will also find the exact same problem is going to apply to this, where it will absolutely crash and burn in basically remembering anything after a few minutes of time. If the game state is well defined, if the game world is well defined in the text, which is only as so far as you can go in text, then certainly it will get further, but it won't get far enough for at least the bare minimum. I think everyone expects their video games to be at least 5 or 6 hours by now. I don't think anyone ever expects their video game to be so short that it's within minutes. And I don't think many people will especially want to pay for minutes-long game experiences, especially when, one, we've got a plethora of great free-to-play games like, hi God. I didn't, but yeah, exactly. It feels like it'd be so much easier to just make a game. Not as into really making a game, but you know what I mean? Like, any investor, by the way, as well, this irks me. Anytime an investor says, oh, you know, we've removed the barrier of entry of creating software or things like that, people don't need to know how to code anymore. It's, speaking in the third person, minutes long. Oh yeah, Flash or indie games do exist, and I think probably where Genie's market will certainly lie, because it will indeed find a market somewhere, hopefully. Unless Google are absolute idiots and they create products that have absolutely no market potential. Stadia. Oh, sorry, that's it. Again, Stadia is weird because it's like we had cloud computing and cloud gaming for quite a number of years, and it felt like a very weirdly late decision from Google to get into the ring. And then it's like, why do we care? I think as well, Stadia... Oh, true, technically. But, like, Stadia didn't even do anything technically new. Other than, like, some new games, sure. But, like, the Stadia controller seems so just interchangeable with, like, a real Xbox controller. The games were interchangeable. I guess their marketing point was it was cheaper than an Xbox. But, unfortunately, it was way worse of an experience compared to an Xbox. and then at the end of the day, you didn't own anything. Like, that's the problem there. These things, if you can, I guess if you can embed, maybe not. The problem I feel is, like, also, yeah, we might as well check out who's on the inventory side while I'm at it. But I'm pretty sure Quagsire would be... Oh, I guess we got Noctowl. Let's swap Noctowl out for... Who would be a good one? Mantine doesn't evolve. I'm not saying, you know, the Pokemon needs to evolve to therefore be useful, but... I'm curious about the ones that will evolve, because I think they'll be the more interesting ones to be rocking. So maybe Slugma. Also, I'd need a fire type at some point. I think it's good to just have your bases covered there. These things, they take time. I think the other problem that I have is that obviously if you've got these for personal... we'll never get Markiplier... oh, we still got a bit. I don't have too much to say though on it. I only heard it offhand from a friend like 15 minutes before the stream started. I don't know anything about the movie. I only know he's beaten the Hollywood distribution system at its own game, which is good props on him. So that's all good. But the genie thing, I got a lot of thoughts on it because yeah, I'm also like, it feels like it'd be quite computationally expensive to run a neural net generate a video game, because as well, every frame is neural net generated, and while sometimes it can be lighter than, you know, maybe real big full video game rendering to some extent. I mean, the reason why DLSS and all that stuff works well is because there's still enough information from the base game. Even when we're doing frame generation, most of the best parts of the frame generation is the fact that the game tells it where the object is meant to be, so it effectively image interpolates based on real gameplay interpolation data, which is great. Whereas this is like this, you've gone from text. You have so little raw data to go off of that it needs to burn all this energy in order to generate stuff. Well, I mean, yeah, most of it's a solution without a problem. Obviously, as well, I think someone described this quite well, and I'm actually amazed I haven't heard of this term. Oh my gosh, we've had to save here this whole time. I should have known. 2 minutes of wandering. Certainly a lot of generative AI is... who asked for this? Do we take the... Oh, I guess we don't take the bridge. We do not take the bridge. Well, at least we've got a proper checkpoint. At least we've got a proper checkpoint in there. Finally. Duking's finished! It's the dawning of Mirabes time! Oh my gosh. We never asked for this for sure, yeah. It does seem very expensive if you're gonna have it be... Like, I hope the goal is that eventually computers can self-render this kind of stuff. We might get, you know, optimizations. Obviously, Google has their own hardware to try and do this at a much lower power target, which is great. I actually really do like that they've got that. Is it low enough? I don't think so. Especially, again, with the Quake 2 example, Quake 2 runs on potatoes. Well, maybe not potatoes, but like you can certainly get Quake 2 running on the absolute weakest hardware that you can buy these days. Like actually like Raspberry Pi, well not Raspberry Pi, but like even lower, Raspberry Pi Zero, you know, embedded chips from like 10 years ago. That kind of stuff probably will run Quake 2. Obviously with the examples they're showing, they start showing things like a GTA 5 example, and the nice thing is that the complexity of the scene doesn't necessarily result in more computation time, if that makes sense. The computation time might be spent on the number of tokens in your input prompt, but by saying that the scene is crowded, it just does the same calculations and fills it in with something that is crowded. Which, at least that's a plus in its book, but at the end of the day, we're making a lot of energy just to do this, just to do the same thing again. I saw someone describe this as, you know, this AI stuff is great at greenfields projects, but the moment you go brownfields, and I saw the phrase brownfields, and I was like, oh, that's a bit of a funny phrase. But it makes sense as like, at some point, and it's often a very, very soon point, this isn't impressive, or it cannot work at something that, you know, operates at such a scale. So we won't be able to, you know, well, one, we're definitely not going to be able to replace any video game that people legitimately try to sell these days, unless it's a real crummy phone app. I don't think I've ever been, like, actually impressed by a phone app in a very long time. And it's such a shame as well, because I don't even think it's a lack of capability on the phone. It's just that obviously I don't think anyone really knows how to work with the input systems on a phone. And you'd be hard-pressed to make a phone game that doesn't support Nitrome games. Maybe. You get a lot of gacha games on the phone. And if anything as well, I think the strength of a phone should be the fact that we could, oh, yeah, I need to check them out, I guess, then. The strength of a phone game is the fact that, like, a lot of people have phones, and sometimes the touchscreen interface is fine, but otherwise it's just, like, it can at least run things. There's a lot of gacha games, as I mentioned, and obviously that's because the form factor of pulling it out, opening your app, and doing stuff for 2 minutes is very appealing, as opposed to literal levels. Although I would have imagined more RPGs should be present on these systems. Also Beldum, who is not who I catch. Unfortunately, Swablu is the core Pokemon here. DS was perfect. The DS was a very, very great form factor. I do agree there. Obviously, the touchscreen wasn't what's the term? Capacitive? It was resistive? Is that the right phrase I'm looking for? Where basically it doesn't work off fingers, it works off, yeah. Alright, we're not using Confusion on Beldum. I'm gonna take out Beldum quickly. I'll just use that again. Will he be draining me? You can't make the world ends with use fight system anyway. That, yeah. Can't make Elite Beat Agents really work on a controller. I would like to play that game in some manner. I need to figure out my DS system in some way. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So EBA only uses the touchscreen. Yeah, there's probably a bunch of games like that, yeah. But yeah, moral of the story is, Genie has, you know, I might be proven very wrong if it comes out and it's like, oh my gosh, it actually does address everything I mentioned. But at the end of the day, people can't run this in their own home. People can't, oh yeah, Google's always had a lot of weird cases recently, I guess. Particularly with data harvesting. I think that's really where the conversation lies, but again, it's like, you know, other than things like removing features from YouTube, like making people pay to speed up their video more than 2 times, or getting rid or pausing the videos if they alt-tab out of a web browser. Like, it's still open, it's just not, you know, I might as well keep going, even though I know I just caught a Shadow Pokemon. I don't actually think there's another Shadow Pokemon here. Orders must be followed! Deaded. Deaded. It's really rocking that Biendeo though. But yeah, like, I think the temporal problems are always going to be an issue. I think the, I keep forgetting if it's Dark or Psychic that I should be using on Pure Ghost. Yeah, the temporal issues should be, it probably is Dark. But, you know, that move's strong enough anyways. The temporal issues are going to be massive. The power issues are probably going to be massive. The fact that you can't run it in your own home is definitely going to be a big problem. If you can run it in your home, sweet. But at the end of the day, like, we need to see, I guess, a commercial use out of this. So obviously we need to find out who on earth is commercially doing stuff and then has it in a version that's baked enough that might attract attention. I like the idea of maybe having one of these for very short form ad content instead of a video ad. I like the concept of that. I would hate it if it forces you to actually interact with it in order to continue on, you know, whatever you were doing. Please do not make ads like forced interaction experiences. But at the end of the day, I do think that maybe something interactive could be great for advertising. Is it worth the energy? Is it worth all this effort? I got no clue. Probably not, actually. Who knows? Maybe. But replacing games is a no. No. What are you on about, investors? Well, this is a better move than confusion. It is stronger. It really is a better move. I love the contest power there. It's like, I'm never using that. Well, me finding a use case of Genie and not completely deriding it. That's what I mean. There is something in there, but at the end of the day, I do not, you know, ironically, Google is an advertising company. I think they've invented a tool that might lead to perhaps better advertising, but we gotta be careful. That's why the word showed up in my head. I just thought of it. I was like, oh. Why'd you look at that? Ba-doop. Are you looking for Juking's Pokemon? Could it be beyond here, I wonder? Mela. She be smella mamela. Actually, don't do that. Look at that. We got the Psychic Poison combo again. No one means apple in Italian. I assume feminine, so lamella. Okay, let's get the tentacle. Nope, wrong one. Wrong one. So now Espeon's gonna be absolutely whooping thing. Also level 36. I know I've been focusing basically exclusively on these two. We'll bring everyone else up to speed. But it's because they can't level up. There really is no better option for most of this point in the game, and it kind of feels like a lot of the Pokemon that you go up against are kind of geared nicely towards just having these two sweep everything. I don't know. It's been a curious one, because I've usually tried playing by trying to drag down Pokemon's shadow bars quite a fair bit, and instead, I don't know, I've been keeping it nice and easy with Espeon and Umbreon and just letting the passive drop lower other ones in the party. I mean, we've already got, what, 2 or 3 already done? So, I mean, in theory, I could have a full party very, very shortly, but where's that Pokemon? I'll never tell you. So, anyway, you can tell me about Markiplier now. I don't have any other big topics. Obviously, yelling about AI is a good fun one. Hi there. It's the edge of the world. You know it's good because it's boss fight time. What's another edition of the rare good movie adaptation of a video game? I don't know what the movie is. That's my problem. I know Markiplier is involved. Oh boy, I've completely forgotten what type Lily it is. I think rock grass. Iron lung. Oh yeah, and then I told my mate like the Radiohead song. The original game was made by the Dust Guy. I do remember Iron Lung. Polish name, I'm not saying it. Sorry, bro. Mr. D. Mr. David. My Iron Lung. The Jethro Tull song and album? I'll give up on that one now. Yeah. It's been ages since I've gone to the theaters and watched a movie. Actually, I say that. I watched the F1 movie last year. I mean, 3 million budget is a non-trivial budget, but also it is Markiplier. Like, Markiplier, if one thing, a lot of people do not, but like, don't discount. Markiplier has contacts. He really, really, really knows how to find people and get people to make something. Which is very surprising given the, I guess, the YouTube pipeline that, like, originally, but like, you know, he's I don't know, YouTube pipelines are often quite, like, self-contained. You'd have you and maybe, like, 1 or 2 editors and all that stuff, but he legit... Yeah, I like the idea of that. And it's kind of weird as well, given how many other YouTuber movies we've had, and none of them have been particularly, amazing. I watched Smiley once. It was a good meme. But I hope the movie is good. I'm not too sure if I'd go to my theater to watch it, in terms of, like... Drag Me... Was it? Is Sam Raimi a YouTuber? That scene in the garage with the anvil is a meme, though. I would highly recommend that movie as a good gag. It's not exactly an amazing movie, but I think it's a good, fun movie. Everyone had fun. No, yeah, Drag Me to Hell was the movie Sam Raimi made after Spider-Man 3. And was the last time he ever made a good movie. Actually, I don't know. What else has he directed since then? Oh yeah, true. He's got the... I keep saying the beach that makes you old, but it's not the beach that makes you old. That movie's come and gone already. The beach that makes you crazy. I'm okay with the premise on that one, but yeah, I'm curious. He's spicing up with a Lanoon. But, that's okay. I mentioned Smiley. I'm trying to think of another one. I guess Fred the movie. Talk to Me. I did talk to you. Bring Her Back. Nah, these 2 movies have gone over my head. I'm in this weird boat. I saw this phrase on Twitter, the business community, and I'm like, I feel like people just categorize like an industry and then call it a community as if like everyone knows each other. If you're in business, you know people in the business community. Who's the most prominent people in the business community? And YouTubers are exactly like that. It's like, bro, I do not know enough about YouTubers or Twitch streamers or really anyone. Although I did mention Kaisane at the beginning of the stream, so I guess there's that. Look at all these individual items just chilling here. No lung, unfortunately. But oh boy, has this been a long dungeon or what? Like seriously, oh my goodness, guys. Woo. And it's so weird as well, because like there's no wild Pokemon. It feels rather vapid after a while. But yeah, my only gripe, I really wish I could actually flex the other party members, but unfortunately they'd all be stuck at the levels I catch them at until later. Also, Misdreavers is still in hyper mode. The same day as Send Help and Iron Lung, there was another movie released, but I don't think anyone is interested in that one. Yeah, I heard there was a fairly decent January release schedule, but I'm not too sure about, like, you know, the rest of the month afterwards. Usually January is where you get all the meme releases. That's right, 16 Pokemon caught. I think I had 9 before this stream, so making solid progress there. It's not the end of the stream just yet, don't worry. Oh yeah. I keep seeing the memes of the Melania Trump documentary of like, I told these people I was gonna see it and they really wanted to see it all of a sudden, so I gave them my tickets and they were pleased and they were like, but what about you? And I said, don't worry, I've got tickets to the next screening or something like that. Like, the amazing copy passes. Oh boy, oh boy. Time to kill my vocal cords for a moment. Yeah, woo! It's about time, darlings. I'm so frightfully tired of waiting for you. Stop the music. Oh, you kept me waiting for so long. I decided to work up a little perspiration. Whoa. But my, you have been busy and being naughty and messing up our plans. It was oh so close for everything to turn out just right, just the way we hoped. But I can salvage our plan by beating you, little man. And so, there's time for one last frantic dance before the grand finale. Let the music play. So, amazingly, we do get to fight Mirabee, and we do get to listen to this music the entire time. Which is a great, great old meme. Unfortunately for us, Mirabee is a Ludicolo spam team. They all have a variety of attacks, I feel. I do remember the Ludicolo spam, it's a bit absurd. But, listen, you get to listen to the music, so it's good fun. They found a cancelled Beavis and Butthead game. I did hear of it, yes. I love the effect on the rain dance. You control both Pokemon. How did you pull off that? Alright, well, let's knock out one Ludicolo and start dealing damage on the next one, but it's really gonna be just annihilating Ludicolo after Ludicolo. This is an astonishing move. Hopefully it doesn't make me flinch, but you know Astonish. Oh no, we're good, we're good. And the other news is a PS2 Recomp tool project has been started. Oh, that's nice. I hope we see more efforts on recompilation projects. I feel like they're becoming more and more common. And I kind of like it because then it means that you unshackle any game from the constraints of its system. PS2 static recompiler and runtime tool to make native PC port, that is a long name, being developed by Brazilian programmer Ran J. PS2 recomp is described. Yes. 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 Follows the Waker. Alright, yeah. I get what recompilation projects are for. But yeah, no, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to see this through. Because yeah, I would love to see a more generic way of going about this as well. Just for the VOD watchers. Okay, VOD watchers, there you go. I'm actually surprised how many people, this is a YouTube analytics discussion, I'm surprised how many people have tuned back in after the Gex streams. The Gex streams didn't get a lot of click-through attention, but Pokemon is back up, so that's an interesting one. I'm glad the hardware news took up a fair bit of time, so that's all good. No, it's all good. There's I mean, I feel like it's been a oh snap! I haven't even talked about Formula 1 yet. Oh, I nearly forgot about Formula 1. Formula 1 is back, baby. Ish, almost. It's not really been the formal start of the season, but we did have the Spain closed doors testing. They had 5 days where each team could run. What am I looking at here? Okay. Oh. Yeah, we had 5 days. Each team could have 3 days of running. And the media didn't really get to watch it, but sometimes they did. I aimed for the wrong Ludicolo. That's just frustrating. The very first game to ever be called a visual novel was recently translated to English. Yeah, I'm picking the wrong Ludicolo. That's just frustrating on me. Shizuku by developer Leaf. There you go. The leech seed is very irritating, isn't it? But I mean, this is a proper boss fight. It's gonna have to kick your butt somehow. A game that cannot be played on Twitch, that's the best kind of game. Will I get banned on Twitch if I mention one of the other banned ones? Maybe. I don't know if Twitch is a bit more sensitive about that kind of stuff these days. Again, I keep opening my kind of invitation to, is there a better system that I can be streaming a game through? But I feel like one, exposure is always a bit tricky. I mean, you can definitely, you know, link to whatever via the Fediverse or something. You can definitely find ways to share. Gosh, yeah, Rain Dish as well. Whoa. You can find ways to share a link to somewhere from anywhere, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, who's gonna host the video? How's that gonna happen? I don't really think there's a great tool out there, which is very unfortunate. Unless you're into Daily Motion, I guess. I know one site that lets you stream Twitch on friendly games. I guess YouTube. YouTube doesn't really care about most of those banned ones, right? Oh, maybe. Level 38, stuff you're even leveling. Oh, check it out, it's a Pseudo-Wudo. That's right, there's a shadow Pokemon at the end of this whole thing. And he might ruin my day a little bit. Pseudo-Wudo is certainly a physical wall, so I do want to... Well, I guess I could just use Bite. Well, not Bite, but Feint Attack. But I do kind of want to just spam get rid of the Ludicolo while I still got a little bit of health, instead of just using a potion like a regular person. But, yeah. The Ludicolo spam is a very weird one, though. I can't explain it. And I feel like we gotta fight Mirabee again. But it catches you so off guard. Because, like, I don't think, like, no one has been rocking, like, fully evolved Pokemon, right? Very Mexican fight, maybe. Mirabee's got the Neapolitan afro. And there goes Espeon, which is a very awkward way of reducing it. Actually, as well, the fact that Leech Seed is going to be... Yes, yeah, I get it. The fact that Leech Seed is going to be rocking in this fight as well is going to be a curious one. Here's a question. I didn't even figure this one out. Is Shadow Rush physical or special? I guess we can look this up. Oh, it's physical. Okay. At least one of them dodged it, but I do want to get the hit just so I've... Never mind, we are not getting the hit. That is the Shadow Sudowoodo, so I am gonna need to hit it, but we gotta hit it. We can't just we gotta deal a little bit of damage on it to get it down. Okay, I need a little bit more damage than that. I mean, he is a bulky physical attacker. Or physical defender. And I know he's going to be tough as well, because Sudowoodo is traditionally a very, very hard catch. You know, we're really not making that much progress out of this one, are we? Do I have... I do have Thunder Wave. I at least have that. No, we're good. Because, I mean, it's all chance. It's all chance at some point. Okay, so Flaffy's going to use Thunder Wave, and we'll just start the catch spam, because who knows, I might just be a very lucky guy. But I do think the odds are certainly going to be against me right now. Like, if I catch this in one go, that's going to be incredibly impressive. Yeah, no, I could, but where's the fun in using bigger balls? And yeah, the Thunder Wave should help. Just a little bit. Listen, don't snag my balls. That's a bad gag. But yeah, no, I'm excited for the Formula 1 season ahead. I really hope Cadillac does very well as a team. I'm really looking forward to those two drivers as well getting back into it. But you know, they seem very good spirits, and I'm actually glad that everyone is in good spirits. True, yeah. There's not much to really say about this testing, but not next stream, but the stream after. In between is the Bahrain proper 3-day test. So you will see like real proper broadcasts of that, and then the Melbourne Grand Prix is, what is it, only like 4 weeks away, isn't it? 4 or 5 weeks away? It's very close. The real side of the season, at a place that's a bit, unfortunately, far away. You know, a part of me feels like I should just do the hyper mode Shadow Rush. I mean, we keep throwing Pokeballs, but... I mean, that's the reason why I got this many Pokeballs. You gotta do it for the hard catches. Again, I think the odds are against me, but at some point I'm gonna have thrown enough balls, so it's like... This should help a bit. Especially with the crit attack there. Rock a slide! Flaffy could just die right now. Oh no, we're okay. I could check a revive on, I guess particularly Espeon, right? Quagsire should be a bit bulky as well, so... I can't afford another Shadow Rush. He has a bit stone. It is a tough fight, though. I do remember this fight being a real big filter. Especially because, one, you can skip a lot of the encounters. So, I mean, if you haven't, like, you know, you haven't exactly got a team. There we go. Okay. Not too bad. It's not too bad. But especially if you haven't gotten a team I can't keep up with the tempo. Oh, no. What a no. But, like, yeah, the fact that you got to deal with 4 Ludicolo's, which is, like, that's a fair bit of a bout there. The Sudowoodo is tanky as, and he's not an easy one to catch. And then on top of that, you could have been a bit of a chump and just used Shadow Pokemon this entire time, and none of them would get any levels. You're still stuck at level 30, as opposed to me throwing it all into at least Umbreon and Espeon, so I had something that could at least get through all the Ludicolo before I start burning Pokemon for everything else. And also, bonus points, if you're the kind of person to not catch things, Naruto run. If you want more of this guy, I have played ahead in time. Unfortunately, there's no penguin over here. There's just something behind those doors. Also TM49, which is, which item is TM49? I do know who you're talking about. I preferred the, he was in the movie, level though, right? How come they all got revived? But, yeah. The movie level was good fun. I liked it. Anyway, TM49, just snatch! I must snatch that. I don't think there's anything else in this room. Just a convenient door behind here. Oh my goodness, it's another book. The book was calling out to me. Iron File P. Purification of Pokemon. Snatch, that is true. Shadow Pokemon are fighting machines created by closing the door to their hearts. The process of restoring a Shadow Pokemon back to its original state is known as purification. Exactly how a Shadow Pokemon is purified is unclear, but there appear to be several causes. We must eliminate reaction to these factors and create Shadow Pokemon that will never revert back to their original purified forms. There you go. Okay. As well as this item back here. Macho Brace. And good thing there's nothing else in this room. Gosh, this is like in the SpongeBob movie when he's in Shell City. Drying out. He is. Plusle. Biendeo, you're safe. Oh, and Plusle. I love it.
Mirror B got away, but things will be back to normal here.
Duking, I don't know what to say.
Forget it, Silver. We're all unharmed. That's good enough. Even that Mirror B's been driven out thanks to Biendeo. What's that, Plusle? Feeling hungry out of relief? Okay, Biendeo, let's quit this moldy cavern and quick. Biendeo, we owe you a great deal. Sincerely, thank you.
That was it. If we were even a bit later, Plusle could have been made a Shadow Pokemon. That's horrible.
I'm glad everything's fine, Papa, and Plusle too.
Oh my gosh, the way he just moves around.
What's the matter, Plusle? Oh, you want to... Okay, I understand. Biendeo, could you take my Plusle with you? Plusle was saying it wants to help you too.
Boing.
Yes, that's right. You can't let those criminals get away with it.
That's amazing. We've got a cute and brave addition to our party.
For the people who haven't caught a lot of Pokemon, it's a very, very nice... nice addition. But yeah, you're right, no mining.
I intend to investigate the organization behind Mirror B. As soon as I discover anything, I will be in touch. Which reminds me, Biendeo, I need your P-star dash... whatever. P-star DA.
Why is there a star there?
Perfect, I will be in touch as soon as we discover anything.
And there we go. So that was Plusle and Minun are the best... Except true, Mimikyu is pretty okay. You're not a big fan of, I don't know, whatever the fifth gen one was. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry, Chief, but there's big news. You see, Chief, Mirror B and his underlings have left the town. Huh. Chief? You're not the Chief, I beg your pardon.
I'm here, Johnson. That story isn't new. I've heard about it over and over already.
Oh, Chief, there you are. You're such a kidder, Steve. Tokyo Demo, yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. We'll hit the save here, but just before we leave the stream, I do want to keep going just for that tad bit more. Actually, I think that's a good place to call it, because it's like a little bit more before I can actually, like, show off the mechanics. So, hi, are you still in there? Still in there? Okay. Okay, I guess I can read the manual again. I'd probably call it there. I think that's a good spot. Because I was thinking could I show off the rest of, like, the next area just a brief bit? And then I'm like, Hux, I feel... Yeah, that's the one. Yes, that's right. The secret is actually halal snack pack right there. So... Also, check this out. There's a jail key right here. Okay. You know, we might as well free a prisoner. Why not? What could possibly go wrong? Hey, what? Oh, wow, thanks. You're letting us loose? I don't know or care who you are, but thanks. See ya! This is a very RPG thing to just be able to, like, get an item like that. There you go. I don't know if that key was there to begin with. Maybe it was only there now. Destroy the pot, yes. Thief. Classic. Classic move. So anyway, we'll save again, because I did a thing. And I guess, yeah, we'll call it there for the stream. It's a very, very solid stream. We made a lot of progress and not much progress at all. Like, I literally didn't... I left town to get some Pokeballs, and I also got annihilated by the pre-gym. We would brush that under the rug. But other than that, that's the whole Pyrite City dungeon, which I feel like is, you know, it's up there for length on this game. So, but anyways, yeah. Thank you so very, very much for watching. If you enjoyed, you can follow on Twitch. I know you're already following Freddy, so you don't need to follow again. But you can tell your friends to follow. 8:30 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time. It's still daylight time. I don't know if February brings daylight savings changes for people, but I'm still the same time until April. So we're still set there. If you missed parts of this, no one else today. It is true. A bit quiet today, but that's okay. VOD will be on YouTube as always. At some point very shortly, as well as also you can watch all the old ones. You can follow on the Fediverse, mtbiendeo.com for fun gags. Maybe I can describe my Linux progress a bit over there as well, so that'll be good fun. Also, keep your eyes peeled for, I guess, more Guitar Hero set achievements in the coming bit. Help it. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that one today, but yeah, no, I'm glad to see that one through. I was just helping out though, that's all fine. So, that's all good there. Anyways, stay safe everyone. Everyone being just Fetty. Unless you're a viewer on YouTube, in which case you get included too. Don't stay up too late. See you fellas. Woo!